Cameron McNulty is hitting this point home very hard with this question. He says, what's the best formula to use to figure out purchase price? Cameron, if I used a formula every single time on every single house, I would do exactly what happened with what Brent's talking about, which is I would have lost out on deals. Let me tell you a story that happened with me and Jamil years ago, probably about 4 years ago. I get this lead that comes in off of a direct mail campaign. The house easily worth 1.5 to 1.7 million. How many people have buyers for that? First and foremost, not a lot of people. Secondly, I look at it and I go, I got to buy this thing at like $1 million. Okay. So what I did is I called the guy and I go, I'm definitely not your buyer. I would have to be so incredibly low on this thing that it just wouldn't make sense for us to do business. That's what I told the guy. And now the funny thing is when you go back to our acquisition wholesale hotlines, you'll hear that that's actually one of the best lines to ever tell a seller, because then they start chasing you. So I'm thinking the guy's just going to hang up on me like, oh, these stupid lowballers. He goes, okay, what's that number? So I'm thinking like it's going to be crazy low, right? So I called Jamil, and Jamil tells me a number that I would have never believed he could sell that house for. Easily $150,000 to $200,000 over what I thought I needed to make the offer for. And that number barely made the number work, that I went back to the guy and he was like, honestly, if you would have said a penny less, I would have hung up on you, but I'm open to having a conversation. And I'm sitting here thinking, Jamil, the reason I got this deal done was not my sales skills. It wasn't because of the lead. It was because literally I had access to a buyer through Jamil's network that would pay a number that any formula would have said he's paying $200,000 too much. So Jamil gives me the number. I go to the guy. The guy goes, all right, even with your number, I'm going to have to cut a check to get rid of this thing, because he bought it in 2008 and refinanced it right at the height of the market. He had zero equity, nothing. Jamil made me like $25,000 on a deal that I would have had to lowball this guy $200,000 if I followed the old 70% of ARV formula. So the real formula, here's the formula. Find a buyer or a mentor that actually knows the neighborhoods and what people are paying in those neighborhoods, because it's different. Jamil can sell deals sometimes at 90 cents on the freaking dollar in specific neighborhoods to some of his REIT or his big real estate investors, big companies. Then there's other neighborhoods that people don't even want to shake a stick at. So listen to what Jamil is saying. This diagram that we're going to put back on the screen is incredibly important. But going back to what Brent and I are yelling is Jamil is the key to making this all work. This is why his company's name is KEYGLEE. He is the key.